3. Hello, and welcome to today's webinar for the Master of Science in Electrical Engineering from the University of Colorado Boulder. My name is Diana Sunshine, and I'm on the Coursera team working with the Boulder team. And I'm really excited to welcome you to today's webinar. The first thing I want everyone to do is to get used to the Zoom interface. And if you mouse over towards the bottom, you're going to be able to see that there's a Q&A, polling, and a chat screen. And if you click on chat, if you can just start typing in where you are coming in from today. Typically, we see people engaging with us from all around the world. So we're really excited. Oh, I see New York, India, Worcester, Ohio, Canada, Kansas City, New Jersey, Long Beach. This is great. And someone from Costa Rica. So fabulous. So I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening for wherever you are coming in from. We're very, very, very excited to have you today. The second thing I'd like to do is I'm going to put out a poll so that you can get used to how we do polls on here. And I'm going to launch a poll right now. And this is to see if you have attended the previous webinar. We're really interested to see, did any of you attend the one on April 25th? If not, did you watch the recording, or did you do both or not? So as soon as we get some of the polls information in here, I will share that out to everyone. People are still answering right now. And that's wonderful. The final thing is that we're going to be taking all of our questions and answers from the Q&A section at the bottom. What we would like to ask is that you don't ask any questions until the presentation's over, because we find that most of the questions are answered during the presentation, and then it gets hard for us to understand which questions to ask. So make sure that you hold your questions to the very end, and I am going to share the poll that just came out, and it looks like that most people did not attend the last webinar, so this is great. This is kind of all new information for you. I'd like to introduce our panelists. We have Bob Erickson, who is the department chair for electrical engineering at Boulder, and we have Adam Sadov, who is the graduate advisor. So Bob and Eric, I'm handing it off to you.
Okay, good afternoon. So I'm Bob Erickson. I'm a professor and the department chair of electrical, computer, and energy engineering.
And as Diana had said, I'm the graduate advisor in this department.
Hello, I'm Robin McClanahan. I'm the manager of operations for the department, and I will be fielding the questions for the two presenters.
Great.
So to get started, we'll just describe what we're going to be going over today, and that will involve an overview of the MSEE degree, followed by many of the common questions that we've received in the recent months, weeks, and days leading up to this webinar, and followed ultimately by your own questions, which again, we would request that you submit at the end of our presentation.
So we're excited to offer the world's first MS electrical engineering degree that is available via the MOOC format through Coursera. This degree is at the same level and same material as our regular resident or on-campus degree, but it is offered through the online, 100% online MOOC format. So it's designed really to be customizable and really meet the needs of distance students, typically working professionals or international students, or those who can't come to campus and need more flexibility. We rely on a performance-based admissions process that is supposed to be streamlined and very easy. So the level of the courses is the same graduate technical level as our regular on-campus graduate degree, but we don't require the formal admissions process. Rather, we ask you to show that you can handle the work, basically. And so we ask you to take a full course, a specialization for credit, and maintain a grade point average of at least 3.0 or B average to show that you can handle the work. You can then push a button and enroll or be enrolled as a degree student. Okay, and you'll earn the degree that is the same as the on-campus students. So you'll get a diploma that says Master of Science in Electrical Engineering. There are no further qualifications. It doesn't say online or anything like that. You can get transcripts of your earned credits, and again, they're simply regular courses that do not have any further qualifiers, such as online.
We have been asked about accreditation, and our innovative curriculum has received accreditation from the Higher Learning Commission, the HLC. This means you'll receive the same high-quality educational experience as our traditional on-campus program, as Professor Erickson has just said. And if you choose to pursue the full degree, the credential will carry with it the same weight as any on-campus CU master's degree.
Our courses are available both in non-credit and for-credit format. And what we suggest that you do, if you're not sure whether you have the prerequisite knowledge, is to give it a try. So sign up for the non-credit version of the course or specialization and see how it goes. And if you find that you can handle the material, then you're able to upgrade from the non-credit version to the for-credit version at any time in the middle of the course. So your assignments that you completed in the non-credit version will then be applied or loaded into the for-credit experience. You will, at that time, would then pay tuition and complete the material for the for-credit version. So non-credit courses do not confer, of course, credit. They don't appear on your university transcript. They, of course, don't apply towards the degree or towards university certificates. You can receive Coursera certificates upon completion of a non-credit course. So here's a little diagram of what you do. So you can, for some of the course content, you can actually view the material for free or on a trial basis. You can pay a monthly subscription through Coursera to sign up for the full non-credit version that includes graded assignments. And when you complete a specialization in the non-credit version, then you can earn Coursera certificates of completion. And again, at any time during the non-credit version, you can upgrade to the for-credit version by paying university tuition, and then you'll do the additional work such as taking exams and earning grades that would then appear on your university transcript.
And regarding that tuition, you would pay per credit hour, not per semester, which allows for maximum flexibility. Tuition is assessed on a pay-as-you-go per course basis. Many courses invite students to test their skills through hands-on labs or exercises, and these courses curate sets of lab kits for students to purchase and use at home. The lab kits are around US $20. More information can be found in the course description pages.
We have attempted to make the registration process as simple and streamlined as we can. So it is an automated enrollment and registration process. You can register for the credit version of a course at any time, and you can, again, be admitted into the degree program through completion of a pathway specialization. You pay as you go on the tuition, as Adam just mentioned. So you'll pay by the course, at the rate of $667 per credit hour. So we will offer several of our specializations on a limited enrollment basis this October, and then we'll offer the full degree program beginning in January. So the 4-credit version for the October launch, you'll be able to register, pay tuition, and enroll in September. There will be limited enrollments in the 3 specializations that we offer then, so they will fill up at some point. In October, the first courses of the pathway specializations will be available, and you can start them. Before then, you can sign up for the non-credit versions if you like and get a head start. If you complete all of the courses within the pathway specialization with an overall grade point average of at least B or 3.0, then you can ask to be admitted to the degree program, and you will be automatically admitted upon your request. We will offer both the degree, Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, which requires 30 credit hours of completed work with an overall grade point average of at least B. So if you continue in the program, when you earn the 30 credits, you will receive the diploma and the Master of Science degree. We will also offer certificates, which you can take either along the way in the degree program, or you can take them without being admitted to the degree program, but by taking the credit versions of the courses. These generally are 9 credit hours of courses in a unified topic.
So the degree is designed to be customizable and flexible to meet the needs of working professionals and international students and distance learners, as Professor Erickson had described previously. The duration of time the coursework takes will vary student by student. Any given course may require as many as 4 to 6 hours of work in a week, so you may plan how many courses you could sustain concurrently accordingly. Courses are often offered for fractional credits, so not all of them will be the traditional 1 credit. Some could be 0.8, 0.6, all the way up to 2 credits. This is because we have redesigned our campus curriculum into focused, manageable topics that allow you the flexibility to pursue only the education that you need. If you are already enrolled in 1 or more courses affiliated with a pathway program, you'll have to pay tuition and enroll in 4 credit versions and complete any remaining coursework for credit.
A specialization on the Coursera platform is a collection of courses. So typically several roughly month-long courses are grouped into a specialization, and the specialization is roughly equivalent to an on-campus 3 credit hour course, although the actual number of credit hours can vary. We also have graduate certificates, which generally are a collection of specializations or perhaps specializations and additional courses that are in a unified area. So we have these courses that are typically a month long. They're a fraction of what we would normally offer on campus in a semester. So, and they're typically roughly 1 credit hour, possibly more or less. In the 4 credit versions of these courses, generally we'll have an exam at the end, so that you can think of this as being maybe a third of a semester-long course with a midterm exam. But you'll get a grade for this course, each course that will appear on your transcript. Several courses, maybe 3 to 3 or 4 courses or 5 courses are grouped into a specialization then, which is roughly, again, like a semester-long on-campus course. Multiple specializations can be grouped into a graduate certificate that is at least 9 credit hours or perhaps more. And then the overall degree is a total of 30 credit hours.
And as a reminder, those 30 credit hours could be your choice. This is a flexible degree that you take for the courses that work best for your professional career and your personal interests and goals of learning the material. As mentioned previously, 3 limited enrollment pathway specializations for credit will be launching in October. And to get started on that process, please declare your intent by clicking the Start Now on our Coursera MSEE description page. In January and beyond, many more courses in the elective curriculum will roll out, but only some of them will be additional pathway specializations needed to enter the degree path.
So this October, we will offer 3 pathway specializations. So there's a power electronics. It's a new version of the power electronics course will be offered. Optical engineering, and the third one is embedding sensors and motors. These will have a limited enrollment, but will be any one of these 3 can be a pathway specialization that if you complete with a grade of at least B, you can use it to be admitted into the MS degree program. Okay, we will have 2 more pathway specializations that will launch later this fall. FPGA design for embedded systems, and then semiconductor devices. These also are pathway specializations. Then starting in January, we will, the full degree program will be opened up, and enrollments will not be limited on the specializations. And we will roll out courses over 2020, the year 2020. So in the power electronics area, we will have a 2nd course in power electronics on modeling and control of power electronics. There will be a capstone project course that will be part of the power electronics certificate. We intend to have a course on simulations and applications in power electronics, and we will launch a course on analog integrated circuit design. In addition to the optics course launched in October, we will have 3 additional photonics and optics courses, active optical devices, Fourier optics, and photovoltaics. In embedded systems, in addition to the October course, we have these 5 additional specializations in the works. Embedded interface design, the industrial Internet of Things, soft processor designs, domain-specific architecture processors, and real-time embedded systems. Then we have 6 additional specializations in the works in other areas, so digital communications, channel estimation and equalization, basic control systems course, antennas, stochastic environmental signal processing, and computer-aided verification.
We've been asked about transfer credits. Currently, the MSEE cannot accept transfer credit from another program, but you may be able to transfer credits earned for the MSEE courses you take to another university or program at the discretion of that receiving institution.
Okay, scholarships and financial aid. So because of the accreditation process for this new experimental online degree, we're not able to offer financial aid or scholarships at this time. We know cost is a consideration for everybody, and so really we've been able to greatly reduce the tuition to about half of the on-campus rate. And this is a pay-as-you-go program, so you can spread the costs out. Really, you pay by the month-long course, which may be a fraction of a credit hour, and therefore would cost a fraction of the $667 per credit hour. Our on-campus students complete the degree generally in 2 years. How fast you complete it as a distance student depends on the pace at which you're able to take the courses. You can complete it in 2 years or even less, but typically it will take longer than that. The courses expire in the 8th year, so you need to complete the degree, or you would want to complete the degree in 7 years.
And now you can declare your intent to enroll today by completing the 1-minute form and visiting the URL on the chat box.
Okay, so let's start the questions and answers.
Okay, we're going through these. Okay. So, what happens if your GPA falls below 3.0? Let's say you are 2.7 or 27 out of 30 credits through the degree, gotten straight B's, and you get a C on the course, dropping your GPA below the required. Are you then kicked out?
No, you're not kicked out, but you will need to raise your GPA to graduate.
So you need to take additional courses.
Right.
But there's also an option to retake one course one time and try to improve the grade.
Great.
Yeah.
I listened when you talked about the HLC accreditation. I'm in Canada, and I wonder if this master can be accredited by the engineering order in Canada, like the EE Bachelor of the University of Colorado is, based on the Washington Agreement.
The Washington Accord, generally, my understanding of that is that it is an exchange accord between countries that recognizes engineering accreditation. So in the United States, it's called ABET accreditation, and our undergraduate programs are ABET accredited. And then students in the United States who take our master's degree get credit towards the professional license or professional engineering. So under this accord, generally I would expect it to apply.
Coursera charges $79 per month after the 7-day free trial. Do you keep paying the $79 per month even after being admitted to the MS program on top of the $667 per credit?
So if you sign up for the non-credit version, you will pay the $79. If you sign up for the for-credit version, then you'll pay the tuition and not the $79.
Is there a difference between the for-credit pathway specializations and the online certificates available on Coursera?
The main difference is that the one offered via Coursera, that's the non-credit option. That does not count towards credit, as we said, nor do you receive a transcript with those marked through our university. Those are through Coursera. If you do upgrade to the for-credit experience, then yes, those will appear on the transcript and they will count towards a certificate, professional certificate on our campus.
And the for-credit versions have additional work. Mm-hmm. At a minimum, they have an exam that is figured into the grade that appears on the transcript.
Graded homeworks.
And they're graded homeworks and other works as well. Yeah. And there may be additional material. We try to have practice exams and other materials to prepare for the exam that's available only in the for-credit version.
How far into a class can you switch from non-credit to 4 credit?
All the way through, at any time during the non-credit version.
Do all specializations have programming components? If so, what languages are featured?
So no, they don't all have programming components. So this depends completely on the topic of the course. So some of the embedded systems courses have programming. Typically they're C, but they can be other, they may be other programming languages. Many of our courses, for example, the power electronics courses, do not have programming.
Is the program geared for professionals who already have a full-time job? How many hours a week is a student expected on average to commit?
So yes, it is. And on average, probably about 4 to 6, depending on how much you can take on at one time.
4 to 6 hours a week.
Yes, yes. We do advise you to see how it goes in your first class, both again, taking the non-credit version first until you know that you feel comfortable and can master large parts of the material before you upgrade to the 4 credit. And similarly, take one class initially and see how that goes for you. Don't overload yourself too much, especially if you're working full-time.
What is roughly the percentage breakdown between theory and application for each course?
Wow, there's a lot of courses here, and they're pretty different. Generally, these courses are intended as professional type graduate courses rather than courses that prepare people to do research towards a PhD. So they are at least application oriented, but generally I would expect some combination of both theory and practice in most of our courses.
Okay. How many students is each TA assigned to? I'm just trying to understand the level of support we will receive from the TA.
So we call them course facilitators, but they're effectively TAs. So we are playing that by ear right now, actually, to see how many we need. What we will require is that each of these course facilitators hold office hours by Zoom on a regular weekly schedule. I expect we will have, at least in our initial offerings this fall that are limited enrollment, that we'll have 2 per course. And we'll see how it goes.
Will the lab supplies be offered through the university, or will we continue to need to obtain them from third-party sources?
And generally, our campus for the kits, they sell them through the campus, or they're able.
No, I think they're so that these are
they purchased
some of the embedded systems courses that have these kits, and you can order them online from a third party.
I'm not an American, and I don't need a visa to visit the U.S. If I show up on campus, would I be considered a regular student? For example, would I be able to join the ski club?
No, this is a distinct and separate program in that regard, and especially to come here, you would need a visa. Granted, it's possible you're one of many students already who has a visa, an academic visa, perhaps through another institution in the United States. But this is separate. Our students pay additional fees for those types of activities and access. We're trying to keep this a very, very affordable degree for you, and so this is completely online that way.
And not add fees.
Yeah.
I have taken 4 power electronics courses through Coursera already. Can these courses be applied to the MSEE program?
You would need to take the 4-credit version of the courses, and the 4-credit version will be offered as this version 2 of the Power Electronics Coursera course. It's very similar to version 1 that's up now, except it has 4 courses in it in the specialization instead of 6. It's courses 1, 2, 3, and 5 of the current version. But it will also have exams and grades. So you will, if you've taken 4 courses, then that should make it easy for you, I think. But you will need to sign up for the 4-credit version when it's available.
And then take the exams
and take the exams and
parts that you might not have had in the non-credit version.
Right.
Will I be able to complete a thesis for the MSEE program once admitted?
Yeah,
this is a non-thesis master's degree program.
These are professional. If you are interested in a thesis, then please do apply to our on-campus program, and we'll be happy to assist you with that.
Yes.
And you can find that on our general website for applying to graduate school.
Can you transfer course credits? Will these be accepted by other schools?
So the courses taken in this program will appear on your transcript as regular courses. And then what you would do is take that and submit it to the other school and ask for transfer credit for those courses.
Are there any plans to include remote sensing?
Yes, one of the courses that was on the slides is a remote sensing course, and we have additional courses in the works as well. So let me find it. That was the Stochastic Environmental Signal Processing course, is specifically a remote sensing course. And there will be a follow-up second course appearing later in 2020.
Is there a method to ask specific questions related to my background and situation?
If you contact the email address of ece-mooc, M-O-O-C, at colorado.edu, you can get your questions answered that way, yes.
I'm not sure about this question. Are there any updates to current non-degree curriculum? I'm having trouble with the current lab equipment requirements. I'm not sure what that means.
Lab equipment, we don't have.
we have lab kits. We don't have large equipment, associated with that particular program.
Do you anticipate that most students will have an undergraduate engineering degree?
Yes, that's the assumption.
Yes.
While we don't formally require that as part of the performance-based admissions, we do assume and teach these. We do assume that the entering students have the equivalent of an undergraduate electrical engineering degree, or at least have the prerequisite knowledge that someone who had such a degree would have. And these are graduate courses taught at the same level as our on-campus graduate program.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to do 1 or 2 courses on campus?
No, this is exclusively, this material is offered exclusively through the Coursera platform.
Mm-hmm. There's no mixing or matching. In fact, you should not be simultaneously enrolled in both. You should really be in one or the other.
Are there any other fees beyond the per credit hour and lab equipment, such as matriculation? Will there be a graduate fee when completed?
There are no other fees.
Would I be able to use the GI Bill for this program?
Currently not. we are looking into that, but it's not available at this time.
Should I wait to take Power Electronics version 2?
If it's available now is non-credit form, right?
Power Electronics version 1 is available non-credit now. Version 2 will be available by the end of August as a non-credit course, and then the 4-credit version of Power Electronics 2 will be offered 4 credit starting in October. So that's your choice, I guess. Version 2, again, is similar to version 1.
As an online alumni, will we get a valid student ID that would give us access to student discount learning tools such as MATLAB?
I think we'll have to look into that, because there's again this some things are feed for our on-campus students, and we will look into whether we can do that for this program.
We're attempting to give everybody a campus identity key, which is a campus ID and password that could then be used for such things as student MATLAB. This is one of the things we're still working on and is pretty complicated. But so I hope the answer is yes.
Where will we keep track of our GPA/transcript? In Coursera itself or in MyCU Info?
It will be in MyCU Info. So the CU website will track your credit, 4-credit earnings and grades, and with this MyCU Info, which is our campus student portal, you can see your transcript.
If I have an interest in taking more than 30 credit hours of courses, how would this be reflected in the transcript?
They will continue to be recorded. You can keep taking courses after you earn the master's degree if you want to.
If my company will pay for the degree, who do they contact to take care of that? How does that work?
I think it depends on the company. In many instances, workers will pay up front and their employers will reimburse them, particularly due to the short time frame of these particular courses, the way they're divided up. However, if other companies are able to pay up front, then they may be able to work that out with our bursar's office.
Because generally, you'll pay online with a credit card.
If I get a C in a course and then retake the class and get an A, is the grade averaged or replaced with the new grade?
I believe our intention ultimately is the latter, to have it replace. It is taking time to work with programmers to effect that change, and we have a lot of people working on this degree.
The campus rules are changing right now, but I think the way it's going to work is the last earned grade is the one that counts.
Whether it be higher or lower.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a mechanical engineer who has taken circuits courses in the past. How can I best prepare myself for the power electronics specialization?
That sounds pretty good. I would suggest that you just try the non-credit first course and see how it goes. I'd encourage you to give it a try and see if it's, how you can handle it.
And if it's going very well, then upgrade to the 4-credit and just continue at pace.
Then just go right ahead. Yeah.
I am a U.S. citizen and resident. Can I use federal student loans to pay the tuition if I take a certain amount of credits in a given period?
I believe currently still there's not that type of
Currently, we cannot administer federal student loans for this program. And this is, again, because of the experimental nature of the degree and the accreditation limitations.
How will the timeline of coursework be structured? That is, deadlines for assignments during the course and limited window of time for taking a course. Is it 100% automated lecture with on-demand grading, or are there some limitations?
Most courses are 100% on demand. A typical course is 4 weeks long, so it will have 4 modules that are roughly 1 week modules. You will have 8 weeks to complete the course. So if something happens or you go on a trip, there is some additional time allocated before you have to complete the course. So generally we will have 8-week sessions in which you need to complete the course, and generally the courses are shorter than 8 weeks long.
Can this MSEE degree count toward taking an engineering PhD with the University of Colorado Boulder?
Again, this is just designed as a professional master's and intended for you to continue along or enter industry after that. That said, under the campus rules, if you follow the rules for credit transfers, you can apply to transfer those toward a subsequent PhD. But in general, this is a master's intended to lead you into industry or improve.
If you want to continue for a PhD, you would have to apply to our PhD program and be admitted, and then you would transfer the credits into that program.
Under the campus rules. Yes.
Under the campus rules, right.
I have a master in mechanical aerospace engineering. How much knowledge is required in electrical engineering to be able to excel in this program?
So again, generally you need to understand undergraduate electrical engineering material. We generally assume that you have had freshman and sophomore calculus courses, that you've taken circuits and electronics. In the computer area, we generally assume that students have digital logic and basic like microprocessor knowledge. But the exact prerequisite knowledge for each course will be different. So if you have this technical engineering background, that's pretty good. You may very well satisfy all of those things. And I think the best way to see is just to try the non-credit version first and see how it goes.
And we're urging you towards that because it costs, initially it's free, it's very, very affordable. And once you are really certain, then if you feel good about that, then pay the tuition to upgrade to the 4-credit version of the course.
Right.
I have taken It says, I have taken the power electronics specialization and used your recommended design-free software, LT Spice. I was wondering if I sign as a student in the university, will I have access to more industry software like Cadence's Virtuoso? In addition, what kind of lab equipment can I use as a student? Would you elaborate on the lab equipment?
So this distance course does not have power electronics labs because the lab equipment is pretty involved and expensive, and we don't assume that everybody around the world has access to that. So there is no lab equipment required for power electronics in this degree. On campus, we do offer some power electronics laboratories, and those laboratories have quite a bit of equipment such as power supplies and oscilloscopes and current probes and other things. Cadence, we currently don't intend to offer that in any of the courses in this program. The problem with Cadence is that there are export controls on this software, and this program is intended to be available worldwide, so we aren't allowed. We do have MATLAB in some of the more advanced courses, and students enrolled in those courses will have access to MATLAB.
If a student needs extra help, are professors or student helpers available to tutor or give resources? What is the equivalent to the office hours availability?
These course facilitators who will hold at least weekly sessions online via Zoom will serve that purpose.
Yes, so there are the discussion forums between the students, and then the course facilitators will hold regular online office hours.
Do you have a recommended curriculum in power electronics, for example, or a listing of courses or prerequisites available online?
Do we have that online yet?
We're working on it.
We're working on it, okay. So it's not up yet, but it will be soon. So these slides had a list of the early courses to be posted. And there will be a full certificate in power electronics that will be available in early 2020.
If I finish the degree online, will I be invited to the university for the graduation ceremony?
That is supposed to be an option, yes.
Yes, you may come to the graduation ceremony in May.
Are there any live sessions?
So the office hours are live. Generally, the lectures are recorded. We will have additional live events that are department-wide events. So, for example, the department seminars will be broadcast.
How imperative is it that I have a background in electrical engineering? I have no undergraduate experience. Are there prerequisite courses that you can recommend that I take to get started to get me up to speed?
Yes, so I would suggest that you take the undergraduate circuits and electronics courses. And there are several good ones available today on Coursera in this area. So, take the non-credit versions of those, and I think that should help you come up to speed.
Same for the math and other complementary type courses.
If you haven't had calculus, you'll want to take that first.
Can you become a TA after completing a course?
We'll talk about that. Depends on where you live and what rules there are for us to be able to hire you, but we will be looking for course facilitators. Generally, they are our graduate students who have completed the courses.
From on campus.
But they're on campus generally, but I think we're not prohibited from hiring off campus within certain rules,
parameters. Again, we'll have to look into, especially how that works out between various countries and your geographical location.
We can't hire people on the other side of the world. I think they'll have to be in the U.S.
What are some changes from version 1 to version 2 of the power electronics pathway?
So in version 1, course 4 is removed and will be part of the new second specialization in power electronics. Course 5, I am re-recording. And course 6 is the design project that is also taken out of version 2, and it will be available as a separate course within the Power Electronics certificate. So the material will be basically the same for courses 1, 2, 3, and 5.
What was the motivation to launch a program like this?
We saw a need and an opportunity. So, you know, I've been teaching distance courses for
decades,
more than 3 decades. Yeah. And I've always enjoyed it, but I see some of the limitations. First of all, the semester-long courses can be a long, difficult haul for people who have jobs and lives. So dividing the courses into smaller chunks, which really we learned from Coursera, is something that makes it more manageable for distance professionals. Also, we have disconnected this from the regular campus semester system. So, for example, in Power Electronics, we offer our on-campus our first semester every fall, and then the second and third semesters are offered in alternate springs. So if you want to take the second or third course, you might have to wait 1.5 years before we even offer it. So, and most distance people want it now, and I don't blame them. So this format allows us to really offer the courses year-round and really meet the demand that we've seen through the years.
Will all the course facilitators be on-campus students, or will this be an option for online as well?
Initially,
they will be on campus, and it's possible in the future we could extend this to selected off-campus students.
Upon successful completion of the MSEE requirements, how are we going to receive the diploma? Would it be a physical or electronic diploma?
The campus now has an electronic diploma. It's parchment.
Yes.
So now our diplomas are issued via parchment. This
is the name of the software company that issues them.
Right.
Not to be confused with the physical parchment, the hard copy. Yeah.
Right.
How many students do you plan on accepting into the program? And will there be a lot of collaboration between students?
So beginning in January, there will be no limit. So we will allow as many people in as are willing and able. Our first offerings in October will be limited. We'll
make sure all the software is functioning campus-wide, because they built a lot of new software functionality for this, and pioneering new degree. We had to do some things a little bit differently than our traditional degrees that are on campus.
So it will be a trial run in October, and then we will open the gates wide in January. Yes.
Will there be peer-graded coursework?
This depends on the course.
Yes,
sometimes there is. For example, in Power Electronics, the project course is peer-graded. The remainder of the material is not peer-graded.
And we've received feedback from students who actually very much appreciate that type of interaction, that type of grading. They're very, very enthusiastic about it, to get that type of peer feedback and to proffer their feedback as well to their peers.
I think we've learned how to do peer grading. So it has very well defined and elaborate rubrics for the peer grading that make it
very worthwhile.
Yeah, worthwhile, but also make it consistent in the grading. And as far, I didn't answer the collaboration question. So students generally can collaborate, and the discussion forums are the primary way to do that.
Granted, you will do your own exams and all of that. We have, you know, the same expectations of academic honesty to do your own work when it comes down to the exams and homeworks. But certainly you can collaborate and ask each other questions at other parts of the course.
Right.
I am a controls engineer in a manufacturing plant. Would you suggest power electronics or embedded systems?
Well, they're both, they could both be applicable
relevant
to such a job, and you would have the opportunity to take courses from both areas.
Yeah. Unless you're doing the certificates themselves have fairly, you know, but they're fairly well delineated.
Specialized, but the
degree,
course is offered and the degree is wide open.
Exactly.
If I take the non-credit course and then want to upgrade it, do I pay tuition and basically retake the course again?
You pay tuition. The work on basically the homework assignments for the non-credit version will get transferred automatically to the for-credit version. But then there will be additional work, such as an exam, that you'll have to complete as well.
And potentially additional homeworks as well, depending on the specific course.
Right.
How do you anticipate this program to perform in rankings that compare online graduate engineering programs, for example, U.S. News, QS, etc., against more established programs?
Well, this is the first program of its kind, so there is no one to compare us to today. So we'll have, I guess, I don't know how U.S. News and World Report is going to approach this.
So we are out of time. We have many, many questions that we were unable to get to. You could send your questions, or we will actually compile all these questions we didn't get to, and we will send out responses. Or you can send your questions email your questions to us at msee-mooc@colorado.edu, and we will send you answers as soon as we can.
Okay, thank you for your interest, and we hope that you find this a rewarding program, and hope to see you in the fall.
Looking forward to seeing you soon.